Welcome to another amazing episode of Ask Cindy Connector Live. And today I'm coming to you from Ask Cindy Connector Live and also my upcoming book, Growing Your Business Through Referrals. So let me tell you a little bit about Ask Cindy Connector Live. About 15, 20 years ago, one of my friends said, "Hey, you always give them referrals passing back and forth. You need to be Ask Cindy Connector." And starting in 2016, I started this podcast, and I have this amazing, lovely lady that's featured in my book. Her name is Stacia Crawford. And let's talk about first what you're doing for me so everyone gets to know who you are.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm basically working as your PR and media strategist. So it's helping to get your message out to the world, letting people know about the incredible work that you're doing with National Bucket List Day and all the great activities and events that you have coming up around that.
We'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to pop off. I'm going to share this in a few Facebook groups. And if you could kind of talk about how you feel about Leadership Day, and then we'll go more in depth with National Day Calendar.
Yeah, Leadership Day. It's so important because often when we think about leaders, we think in terms of titles, but really it isn't. Leaders is all about influence. So it's all about how you influence people, how you live your life, whether it's, in your personal life, in your business. We all have the capability and the opportunity to be leaders. That's leaders in our homes, leaders in our community, leaders in our schools, leaders in our government, leaders in our homes. So it's really all about emphasizing what that looks like for you and how you're able to really garner that power and be a leader on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, let's go a little more depth. So let's talk about John Maxwell Organization. What do you know about that?
I'm familiar with John Maxwell, know that he absolutely is a leader, in the business space, in the business development and personal development space. So he's definitely gotten that title as a leader for sure.
So let's see what they have here on the website. So there's a collaborative measure going on with National Leadership Day and the National Day Calendar brand. If you'd like to order a calendar, go to nationaldaycalendar.com shop and you could order a desktop calendar or a wall calendar. So leadership is pretty important. I actually started my leadership, I want to say in my early 20s, watching Anthony Robbins, and my very first book I actually found at a bookstore, and it was signed. It was absolutely amazing. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So do you have anything you got to say about that book? Have you ever picked that copy up?
Oh my gosh, I have. It's been a while since I've read that one because there's always so many great books out there for personal and business development. But that's definitely one that should be on the list for sure.
So anything else that you want to talk about leadership today? We have about 15 more minutes.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I'm a PR and media strategist. And so when I think about National Leadership Day, I really like to emphasize that visibility is a key part of leadership, right? Like leadership is about influence, and influence requires visibility. Great leaders aren't just experts, right? They're experts who are seen, they're heard, they're recognized as thought leaders, who are, go-to experts at the top of their field. And one of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs and experts tend to make is doing great work in silence, right? It's like a lot of times we think, oh, well, I don't need to be recognized, or, I don't need to toot my own horn. But the truth of the matter is, if no one knows about you and you are operating in silence, then you can't lead at the highest level. Media is a leadership tool. Being featured in the media, whether it is television, radio, magazines, podcasts, it isn't about vanity, because sometimes people will say, oh, well, it's not about me. I don't really need to be on television. I don't need to be the subject or profile of a magazine article. But it's not about you. It's really about amplifying your message, reaching the people who need you. Because if they don't know that you exist, then you can't help them. And then ultimately, when you get that visibility, you can inspire action, right? I always say, when you're doing media, You want to inspire people to do something. This is how we change the world. So you can be the most brilliant leader in your industry, but if the right people don't know about you, then you can't help them and you actually limit your own impact.
And it all comes from within. So having a DMO, daily method of operation, which I talk about in growing your business through referrals, it's so important to tap into personal development. Some of the things that I do, I like to watch a personal development video every day, and also something that's funny. Coming up actually in April, we have National Humor Month. So it's another way to celebrate. But leadership really should start at a young age. And there's just so many different ways that we could actually teach our children. So those who do have children, it's important to teach leadership at a young age. Can you kind of touch on that a little bit, how you feel about that topic?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know that children, they model what they see, right? A lot of, the old expression, do as I say, not as I do. But that is so untrue. Children are going to do what you do. They're going to model the behaviors that they see. So when they see you activating and amplifying your leadership, again, in the home, in your place of work, out in your community, then those are really the actions that they are going to imitate. This is how we create great leaders. We have to encourage them to get involved. It's a civic duty. It may be, something being a line leader at school, right? Or the lunch leader or leader on the playground. It can start at a very young age. And even though those young children may not necessarily recognize it as leadership, it's something that's implanted in them at a very young age. And these are the people who grow up and change the world.
So we have Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. That's something that if you have a young child, to really implement them into that so they could learn those leadership skills. For here in Huntington Beach, we have a local beach cleanup that happens, throughout the year and throughout the month. Coming up on the 22nd of April is Earth Day. So it's a great way to actually collaborate with people at your school and be a leader of the group. So let's talk about the community giving, how important that is.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is really the foundation, right? As a community, as humans, we're designed to be together, right? We're pack animals, so to speak. And so that community it's very important for us to be able to exemplify our leadership in our community, right? And it's also important to give back to others. And that's something that, as you're doing that, children are going to imitate that. And this is how we grow communities. We're actually able to impact people on a much higher level.
So let's go through a few things here on the article. So you want to recognize a leader within your company, community, or in your home neighborhood. You want to share a story on social media and use hashtag National Leadership Day. Share your favorite leadership quote or book on social media. And again, do the hashtag National Leadership Day. Commit to reading X amount of times per week or per day. And it's just a great way to pay it forward to the National Day calendar. And also check out johnmaxwell.com. So let's see how many more minutes we have. Oh, we have about 10 minutes. Anything else you'd like to cover on how important this is?
Yeah, I mean, really, again, going back to leadership, and, you can be a great leader, but also people need to know that you're a great leader. And so one of the things that means that you have to have is you have to have authority. I mean, if you don't have authority, it's like then, you call yourself a leader, but if nobody is following you, then you're just a person taking a walk, right? So leadership means that you have to have people that you are leading. And that comes from you building trust. Trust, credibility, authority. Those are the things that you really can get when you're amplifying your message through the media, right? When you're getting quoted in major outlets or interviewed on TV, and really using and leveraging the power of storytelling. That is so important, and being able to use media to shape that narrative. So as leaders, we have ideas, we have opinions, right? What do you think about this? How do you feel about that? And you being able to influence other people and shape the narrative, again, can create a ripple effect, right? When you look at some of the top CEOs in our country, when we look at authors and change makers, they are regularly featured in the media and they share their insights. They use that media to drive their mission forward. So when you think about leadership, always think about what is your mission? What is the impact that you're trying to create in the world? And leadership isn't just about skill. A big part of it is about your positioning, right? Are you positioning yourself as an industry leader? Um, PR has the power to do that. You don't have to wait for permission to be seen. You don't have to wait for someone to give you the go ahead. You can proactively amplify your message through media and create opportunities. That's what leadership is all about. It's not about you waiting for the right time, waiting for someone to invite you to share your voice, but taking up space, you putting your voice out there. That's leadership.
And it starts with confidence within. So a lot of people, I talk about it in the book, will talk about all these words like can't. And that is the number one word that you should never have in your vocabulary. Because if we have the can't mentality in our head, because our head actually tells us, so if we're afraid of certain things, like I might be afraid of going on national television, but if I keep on telling myself that I'm afraid, then I'm always going to be afraid. Or when I decided I was going to take a surf lesson, I can't swim. There it goes. That can't swim. I'm not a very good swimmer. You change those words around.
That's right.
And I've surfed 3 times and I barely swim.
Wow.
But when I fall down, I'll have a little freak attack. And my surf instructor says, all you have to do is stand up, Cindy. It's waist high.
Yes, just
So you got to get that fear. And you're going to fail before you succeed. A lot of people, they try a business or, a mission and it's not working out. Keep on, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
When you quit, you'll never know. Let's talk about the fear, how fear is a part, or failure is a part of success.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think you can find any successful person who hasn't failed. So the question comes down to, like, how big do you really want it? Be prepared to fail. Be prepared to make mistakes, because when you make mistakes, it shows that you're growing. You're expanding outside of your comfort zone. That is where the growth happens. Nothing happens inside of your comfort zone. So you face the fear. That doesn't, when you're saying be fearless, it doesn't mean that there is no fear. Fear is always going to be there, because fear is what we have inside of us to keep us safe. That's what our brain has one function, and that is to keep us safe. And so when we have experiences that we think are going to threaten that safety, then our brain tells us, oh, fear pops in. It's like, nope, don't do that, because now you're doing something that is, quote unquote, unsafe. But when we move forward, what we do is we move forward with fear in one hand and courage in the other. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've done lots of fearful things. And I know most of the time when you do it, then you look back and you say, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was easier than I thought. I don't know what I was afraid of all this time. So yeah, so the fearful part, it's going to be there, but don't quit, because you quit, you'll always have that question, what if I had kept going, right? You always see that image. I don't know if you've ever seen that image of the man with the pickaxe.
Yes.
Right. And it's like he's 3 feet from gold and then he quits. And it's like, oh my gosh, you were right there. You just had to go that much farther. So no, you can't quit. Resilience and persistence are going to be your best friend.
Well, let's talk about what fear means. Face everything and rise.
Yes.
What it really means. So you don't want it to be the other acronym.
That's right.
Face everything and rise. No matter what kind of challenges you have accountability partners. I have 3 of them for my book. That's super crucial, having people as an accountability partner to help you push through in business and fitness. There's so many ways that you can get to the other side, and you could climb that rock to the top. Let's talk about how leadership is kind of like Mount Everest. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, I think that, when I think about climbing Mount Everest, it's like you look at it and it's like, oh my gosh, this is huge. I could never be able to do this. But what I also say about that is you can do it, but you have to have the right support. Like I'm not going to drop everything and try to climb Mount Everest today. One of the most important things about that is going to be preparation. And the same thing holds true for, when you are in a leadership position. It's all about preparation. It's about education. It's about positioning yourself to succeed, not just jumping out there thinking that you can do it. That's where that mindset shift has to come into play. So yeah, Mount Everest, it's huge, but you also have to focus on the fact that other people have done it. It has been done. And so you have to have that can-do attitude. It's like when you have little kids and kids are like, "Oh, I can do that." And what we do as adults, we're like, "Is he kidding? He really thinks that he can do that?" Right? And it's like we knock them down. It's like he has no idea how hard that is, what he wants to accomplish. And then we take our limiting beliefs, right, and our negative thoughts, and we put them on these kids. And now they walk through life like, "Well, I can't do it because my mom said I can't do it, or society says I can't do it, or, my friends say I can't do it." We can't place our limiting beliefs on them. These kids want to soar, let them soar, but proper preparation is going to be important.
Well, I want to do a shout out to Drew Barrymore. I heard that she just turned 50. So I did big shout out to her. Never Been Kissed is actually one of my favorite movies. And one of the things that I like to talk about on Bucket Day is your movie bucket list. So we have 4 more minutes left. Do you have a favorite movie bucket list or anything in leadership that you watch that's really important? I know Anthony Robbins does have the one on Netflix, I'm Not Your Guru, which is a really great
Wow, in terms of oh gosh, what is the name of it? Oh my goodness, the one with
The Secret.
Oh, I do love The Secret. Yeah, the movie as well as the book. I think The Secret, everybody, if you haven't read it, read it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It is game changing. And I love how they take these common concepts and really break it down and put it in a format where you can actually relate to it, regardless of where you are in life, what stage you are in business. There's something in there that everybody can relate to. I mean, and it changes the way you think. Absolutely.
I'm going to be late for work, or I'm going to be late for the podcast. And guess what happens when you're thinking that? Then all this stuff. So you're going to be late for work. You're going to see construction. Things are going to happen. There's going to be whatever happens in your path.
Yeah.
But it's because you're thinking that. So you need to think of different ways to change your mindset. And like I talked about earlier, and what's in the book is the daily method of operation. Like I like to text at least 5 people a day. Yesterday, I texted over 34 people.
Yeah. What you focus on.
Birthday. Right. Just different things that's going to make you different. Mm-hmm. And just going back to that leadership.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Right. It's like what you focus on grows. So yeah, if you think you're going to be late, you're going to be late. Right. It's like words have power. Words are so powerful. And so we have to make sure that we are speaking positive, that we are speaking life, that we are speaking success over our lives, over the lives of those who are close to us. Right. The words are so important. And that's, an important part of leadership too, being very mindful of how you show up in the world. What are you speaking over other people as leaders, right? Are you giving them that can do, you can do it, or are you shooting them down from the beginning? So that's a key part of leadership, how you show up for others as well as how you show up for yourself.
Well, I hate to talk about this next topic, but I think it's important. Not everybody feels the same. And so when I started my social media management company many years ago, when Facebook started, I took a course to have this business. And they said, no talk about politics, no talk about religion. Not that it's bad. It's just not everyone is going to be on the same page. So super important to be mindful about that. Because if you want to be a leader, you don't want to be engaging back and forth on your page. You want to build people up. There's also ways that you could do things for free to other business owners. You can do a video testimonial like you just did a few weeks ago. You can do a written testimonial. You can go on Google, on Yelp, and start paying it forward to those local businesses. And in closing, 4 years this April, we're going to be in Nepal. So I'm going to challenge you then, since you have 4 years to get over that fear of Mount Everest.
Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah, the closest I've been to Mount Everest is probably the Everest roller coaster at Disney World.
Oh, really? Wow. Mary West Network.
Oh,
Just a
yeah.
little
Mary says she
secret.
loves The Secret. Yeah.
Very nice. And she actually connected me to my publisher. So very, very, very grateful for that relationship.
Well, thank
Thank you so
you,
much.
Mary. Yes.
And actually, we just changed our appointment. It was supposed to be next week, I believe, and they changed it to the 24th, which is National Bucket List Day. So it kind of worked out good. So I'll probably be doing the interview live from my hotel room in Las Vegas here in a couple months.
Woohoo!
All
Yeah.
right. So closing out, the question I always ask, what is the one random act of kindness you would like to perform here in the next couple weeks?
The one random act that I would like to perform. Let's see. I would like to donate to a children's organization. I just have a heart for kids, and I feel like when I get that call for paying it forward and giving back, my heart always goes out to children.
Let's see what I want to do. I want to give a gift of gratitude to Mary West, and I'm going to connect you to Mary West with the Mary West Network. Those are my two random acts that I'm going to do for you. Both of you.
Awesome.
Okay, and last question. Let's reiterate your company, Stay Ready Media. What it's all about, and why do people need to connect with you?
Yes. So I'm Stacia Crawford and the CEO of Stay Ready Media. And people need to connect with me if they have a message that they want to amplify. I use media to help people reach more people so that they can be seen as a leader, so that they can be visible and have that credibility and the authority, so that this helps them to get featured, get recognized, and grow their influence, and ultimately carve out a place for themselves in the world. So if you are ready to use media to position yourself as a leader, let's chat. You can connect with me on Facebook or LinkedIn, or you can go to my website, stayreadymedia.com.
And call to action for today?
My call to action would be just that. Like, check me out. I did a Facebook Live today talking about some of the pitfalls that people face when they don't understand media and don't take advantage of it. So go to Facebook, connect with me there, and check out that live stream that I did. I think that it'll give you a full picture of what media truly has the power to do for you.
And if you go to Growing Your Business Through Referrals, you could actually see a video we did a couple of weeks ago where she's giving a special deal on a workshop. But you have to go to that YouTube. You have to subscribe and comment, and we will get you your prize.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead and talk about your YouTube real quick, and we'll close out.
About my YouTube, the interview that we did?
A shout out to your YouTube. Is it Stay Ready Media?
It is, yes, it is Stay Ready Media. So you can go there. There I have videos for those people who are ready to embark on a media journey. Whether you've been featured on TV or if this is your first time, there's something there for everybody.
Okay, I'm going to put you in the green room and be right back. All right, guys, happy National Leadership Day. Use the hashtag, as we mentioned earlier, pay it forward to an author and also anybody in your community that's an amazing leader. If you're part of B&I or like a local networking group or even like a speakers network, please talk about it today. We hope to see you just on the other side. And today's a busy day. I actually have several different podcasts. So on Bucket List Coach web show, I have Dixie Grace's boiled peanuts, because tomorrow is National Boiled Peanuts Day. And then coming up on the 4:00 hour at Bucket List Coach web show, I'm going to talk about National Love Your Pet Day. We hope to see you on the other side. Make sure you follow Ask Cindy Connector live podcast and also Growing Your Business Through Referrals. It's the upcoming book.